Hi, this is David Carrick from the School of Arts and Sciences, and I'd like to give you a quick tutorial of the Artificial Intelligence for Games Battle Competition. This competition is open to all SNHU students, and the winner's name is engraved on a plaque which is on display in the Game Development Lab on campus. This game is a turn-based combat game with similarities to the classic game of Bomberman. Your AI will be moving and placing bombs and attempt to blow up other players to eliminate them. In addition, there's a diamond and a goal randomly generated on this map. Your AI can also win this game if it's able to find the diamond and bring it to the goal. Doing so causes the game to instantly end, and your AI is the victor. The game is played on a grid of arbitrary size, and this grid, is determined at the time of competition. So one thing to note is that your AI gets very little information about the world, which we'll talk about in a few more minutes. One thing that it doesn't know is the size of this grid. The grid can be any arbitrary size, and there's also many number of competitors that may exist in this grid alongside you. Each AI character is going to start with 3 points of health and are randomly spawned on a clear location in the world. One key thing to know is that the only knowledge you have of the world will be the information you gather while the game is being played. Each AI character will start with 3 points of health and be randomly spawned on a clear location in the world. If your health ever reaches 0, you are dead and will be eliminated from the game. Your character can only stand on clear spaces, as movement on the walls, locations, or walking off the world is not allowed. Each turn, the game will ask your AI to perform one of 2 actions, either move or drop a bomb. In a single turn, you may move as many spaces as you please. However, remember that walking into walls will hurt you, so you want to make sure that you are only moving on clear spaces. If your AI walks into a wall or moves off the world, it will be dealt a single point of damage, and its movement will immediately stop for the rest of the turn. Multiple characters can stand in the same location, and characters can move through each other. When you decide to drop a bomb, you can also set the timer for this bomb, which determines how many turns it will take before it explodes. When you drop this bomb, it will be placed at your feet in the same space where your character is currently standing. Dropping a bomb with a timer set to 1 will blow up in the same turn as placed, so think carefully about doing this, as you will not have time to run away from the bomb. You may drop as many bombs as you would like, but only 1 bomb may exist in a single location at any time. If you attempt to drop a bomb and one exists at your location, your action will do nothing. One really important thing about this game is the turn order. The order in which the turns take place is they happen in different phases. The first phase is the game will ask every single AI what action they would like to take. This is your chance for your AI to do any sort of reasoning about the world or determine what action it would like to do and tell the game system, the appropriate move that it wants to do, either moving or placing a bomb. The next thing that the game will do is it will resolve any sort of movement. Following all movement, it will then allow AI who have chosen to place the bombs in the world. It will then reduce the timers of any bomb that's in the world, explode any bombs that have a timer of 0, remove any AI bots that have a health of 0, and then finally check and see if any of the AI have 1. Because of this turn order, if your AI has the diamond and reaches the goal, and then is instantly blown up by a bomb, it will not win because its health will be reduced to 0, and it won't check the win state until after the health checks of all the AI have been determined. Now, to build your AI for this game, it's relatively simple. Along with the project that you'll get, you will have 2 example AI. The first one is this test AI. The test AI just shows you the basic implementation of an AI. These are all written in C#. They're all Unity scriptable objects. So your class, whatever you want to call it, is going to inherit from a base AI class, and you're going to have one function that's going to be called by the game itself. It's this get action function. You have the responsibility to do a couple things. One is return back what action you want to do. It's either combatant action.move or combatant action.placeBomb. The second thing is that if you decide to move, there's a list of directions that's being passed to this function by reference, and it's your responsibility to put the movements that you want to do this turn into this list. If you decide to place a bomb, very similar, it's your responsibility to set what you want the timer to be. Now, in this very basic test AI, this checks what's in the world around it, adds a single move in the direction of up, and then returns back to the game system saying, I would like to move. In this other random AI script, which is the second AI script that you will get with the project, this is basically rolls a random number, determines how many moves it wants to make, it adds a bunch of moves into this list, and then returns back to the game system that it wants to move. Alternatively, if it decides to, it will also drop a bomb with a bomb timer of 5. When you're developing your AI, the only information that your AI will know about the world is what it can gather from this function called useSensor. Now, your AI won't know how large the world is, it won't know where it is in the world, it won't know where the diamond is, and it won't know where the goal is. It also won't know any state of where anyone else is, or where other bombs, or anything else about the world. The only data that it can get is just what it's getting from this useSensor function. Now, this useSensor function will return you back a value of an enum, which is the state of given spaces adjacent to you or the space that you're on, essentially using bitwise operators to combine all of the current information about that location that you're querying about. So if we take a look at this, test AI, you can see that it's calling this useSensor function. It's saying, I would like to determine what's in the space directly adjacent to me in the upward direction. And then it's using a bitwise operator to determine whether or not that space is clear. If it is clear, then this AI will move one space up. If it is not clear, then it will move one space down. To look at a slightly more advanced AI, slightly more advanced script, this is sort of what we would expect if you were developing your own AI. One of the things that you will definitely need to do is you'll need to maintain the state of all the knowledge that your AI has sort of determined about the entire world as it traverses the world. And every single time it does this, the game system queries to ask your AI what action it wants to take using that getAction function. One thing that's sort of expected is that your AI will query what is at each location adjacent to it, as well as in the current location. Every turn, this is the only information that your AI can gain about the world. So your AI is sort of lost aside from the information that it can get here. Now, one of the goals of most AI is as you are moving around the world, you'll be gathering more information about the adjacent spaces as well as the space that you're currently in. And over time, as you're traversing through the world, you'll be able to build up a larger and larger, sort of database of information about what this game space looks like, which will help you sort of traverse and figure out where it is that you want to go. Now, once you've written out your AI, the last thing to do if you want to test with your AI is you'll have your script here inside Unity, and you'll go to Assets, Create AI, and then you'll be able to choose which AI you want to create. So let's go ahead and create a random AI. This will generate what's called a scriptable object inside Unity. So I've just generated this random AI 1. Inside my game manager object over here, there's a section called combatant scripts. I can set however many combatants I want to have inside this current battle, and I can put a whole bunch of this random AI that I just generated inside here. So you can see that I have 5 AI set up for this current battle. When I hit play, it's going to generate a brand new world. It's going to populate it with the 5 different AI. The game by default starts pause, so the next thing I want to do is unpause it, and then as soon as you do that, the game will start running. Now, I've put a whole bunch of random AI, so they're going to be dropping bombs as well as pathing various directions and just trying to attempt to blow each other up. Most likely, most of these AI are going to end up walking into walls, blowing themselves up, or walking right off the grid. So they'll end up eliminating themselves from the game. Excellent. I hope that all of you are able to develop good AI for this project. I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope to see you at the final competition.